My wife and I just bought the new iPhone 12 Pro and 12 Pro Max. Well, we didn't actually buy it. We borrowed money in order to get it from Apple. And normally borrowing $2,400 in order to get the latest iPhone isn't something I would call a good decision. But let me give you 9 reasons why we did it, and if you still think that it's a bad idea at the end of this video, let me know in the comments down below why. As you can see, I just got this phone. In fact, it arrived when I was popping out of the shower, and I actually wrote in my script today that I was gonna wait for it to get here and hopefully it was gonna come while we were shooting, but it's here, so looks like we gotta open it at some point. And if we're just meeting, my name is Anthony, and I wanna help you not be dumb with your money. So here are the 9 reasons why I think that buying this iPhone was actually a good financial decision. Pretty. So the first reason why I think this is a good idea is that we were able to finance the phones on an Apple Card monthly installment payments. If you didn't know, Apple actually has a credit card, and if you buy something from them, you can finance it at 0% interest if you have enough available balance on your card. My wife runs a social media and digital marketing business, and earlier this year, she actually applied for the Apple Card because she got the iPad Pro for her business. And because of that, she had a $5,000 credit limit that they gave her. So when we saw that these new phones were coming out, and we discussed a few of the other reasons on this list, we decided that it'd be a good thing to use some of that available balance to purchase these 2 phones and use up about $2,400 of that available credit. This is pretty similar to what you would do with AT&T or Verizon, but they would work that into a 2-year contract, whereas here we have a little bit more control over our phones. And as an added benefit, the Apple Card actually gives us 3% back on any purchases at Apple, so we're able to use about $70 to pay towards the sales tax that we have to pay, but sales tax is going to be different depending on your location. Honestly, this reason alone wouldn't have made us pull the trigger on buying these phones because even though we have access to that capital, it's still debt. So the second reason that we thought it was a good idea to buy these phones is that we could finance them over a 2-year period. And I know we're still talking about the terms of the debt, but hear me out on this one. So instead of paying $2,400 up front, we pay $100 per month for 24 months. And even though, like I said, this is 0% interest, it is still debt. And we don't have any other debt, and we do have the money in the bank to be able to pay this. And on top of that, our businesses are cash flowing to a point where we can cover this expense. So even though we could pay off the phones now, we decided actually to invest that money into our businesses. Because paying the phones off over a longer period of time will allow us to get more benefits of investing early into our businesses and receiving the compound benefits of that. This also allows us to keep more cash in our possession, and that gives us options. And that's exactly what we're moving on to in option number 3, which is actually a tax advantage of doing this. These phones are going to be business expenses for us, and I'm going to get to that mostly in the next point. But because we're paying them off over a longer period of time, it actually gives us options for how we want to write them off. Now, I'm not a CPA, and I'm going to talk to a tax professional about this, and I recommend you doing the same thing, but this is what my understanding is as of now, as some dude on the internet. To my understanding, we have 2 options for how we can write this off on our taxes. We can either take the full $2,400 expense this year, or we can take the $100 per month expense over the next 2 years, so $1,200 next year and $1,200 the year after, because the first payment's actually in January. That gives us the flexibility to talk to a tax professional to see what exactly would be the best option in terms of paying the least amount of taxes. And obviously, if it is more beneficial to us, we can take the cash that we do have and actually use it to pay off the phones whenever it's the most beneficial for us. Like I said a minute ago, the 4th reason for buying these phones is actually mine and my wife's business needs. Now, because we run businesses that are mostly online or are starting businesses that are mostly online, we're going to need our phones to be able to do a lot, to be fast, and especially for YouTube stuff, to take pictures. My wife runs a digital media and marketing agency, so she's always making posts and taking pictures for clients. I run a reselling business on eBay and Amazon, so I have to take pictures of listings. I have to go out and scan items to see whether they'll resell at a high value or not. And I'm obviously managing my businesses on the go since it's all online. And then also we're starting 3 YouTube channels. This one right here about finance, one called I Suck at Fishing, because I do suck at fishing, and one called The Story Travelers, which is where my wife and I share our adventures. And for those 3 businesses, we're obviously going to need to be able to take better pictures and photos than what we have right now, because as you can see, my phone has some tape over the camera because I used to put a magnet there, but I actually lost the magnet because my phone, I'll show you in some B-roll right now, is awful. The stabilizer on the camera doesn't want to work anymore. And so if I'm like out trying to scan something, it's not going to work. And if I'm trying to take pictures or videos so that I can record something on the go, that's obviously not going to work either. So having this new guy is going to be really nice. I probably don't even need that. I have a pull tab. That's embarrassing. It's so satisfying. Oh my gosh. So fancy. No, it's not turning on. That's not good. Why isn't it turning on? What am I doing wrong? Oh, it is turning on. I'm just dumb. I know that there are cheaper options that I could have gone with if I wanted to get a camera system that was just functional, but I think that this new one from Apple is actually incredible, in my humble opinion, and reason number 9. But the 5th reason that I got these new iPhones is that because I got it directly from Apple, I can actually continue to use my discount carrier for my mobile network. Now I'm on Spectrum Mobile because we have Spectrum Internet, and it's about half the price of what I would have paid at some other places for unlimited everything, and we like it enough. It's pretty functional. The 6th reason is about the new iPhone's tech. Now I'm not super tech savvy, but I do know that 5G is probably the next big thing. At least that's what people are saying. And even though it's not rolled out completely yet, it probably will be within the next 2 to 3 years. So having a phone that will be able to keep up even with those new 5G towers is going to be perfect. The 7th reason that I like the way that we purchase these phones is actually something that I try to do with every single purchase that I make, and that is make a disciplined decision. I'll be honest, I watched a lot of YouTube videos as these phones were coming out, before they came out and after they came out, to see what the specs were versus what the reality was. I was really tempted to pre-order these phones or get them immediately when they came out, but as you can see, we waited a good couple of months to do that to make sure that that's what we really wanted, because $2,500 is not cheap. On top of that, we went into an Apple store instead of just ordering them online to make sure that it's exactly what we wanted. And initially, I thought that I wanted a Pro Max as well, because I thought that it had the better camera system, the bigger screen, it'd be great for creating content, but I've always had the smaller phones. So we went in and I almost walked out with a Pro Max, even though that wouldn't have been what's best for me. And the reason that I didn't is because they actually didn't let us buy the phones that day. They made us go online, pay with their Apple Card online, and he had the 2 phones in his hand and he was about to give them to us, but he told us we had to come back the next day. So honestly, thank you, Apple, for not working. You helped me make a more disciplined decision. And we actually saved $100 because I didn't get the Pro Max and I got the Pro, and I'll be much happier because I'm a small dude. I got tiny hands. And another benefit of doing this is since we've ordered it and now that I've gotten it and have it in my hands, I don't have any regrets about doing it. Obviously, I haven't really used it that much. It's still transferring all my data, but I'm super excited to do that. And I think that the big reason that I don't have any regrets is because I made a disciplined decision and thought through all of my options. And I have 9 reasons as to why I bought this phone. That's a couple of reasons. And being excited about these phones actually leads me into my 8th reason, and that is having good equipment leads you to want to work more. I think this is universal, or it could just be me, but when my space isn't orderly or I don't have the right equipment to do something, I really don't want to do it. It takes a lot more energy for me to do a simple task, even if it's not actually that much energy, because I know that I'm not working with the optimal equipment. In my last video, I gave the example in my eBay business where I don't list things for a couple of days and always procrastinate, and I think a big reason for that is taking pictures on this camera is a mess. And I have to ask my wife to use her phone or use this iPad, which is what I've been doing, which is ridiculous. But she got her new iPhone and I used that for the first time the other day to take pictures, and the pictures looked great and I really enjoyed doing it. So now having this is gonna lead me to procrastinate in that less. That same thing is gonna help me create better content because I'll be more apt to take little B-roll clips or videos while I'm out and about to really spice up my content. And so getting this new piece of equipment is gonna help me to work better, more efficiently, and enjoy my work more. And obviously having the best equipment is put into the context of all these other reasons for making this decision, because you do have to have strong financial principles and understand that when you're making these financial decisions. And sometimes I think that in this little financial niche that we're in, we tend to strive for ultimate frugality, which I think can be a good thing, but if it comes at the expense of you enjoying or being more efficient at your work, it's probably actually not a good thing. So spending a little bit more money and getting the latest iPhone is actually going to be something that probably makes me more money down the road because I enjoy my work more, so I'm gonna do it better. And the 9th reason that we got these new phones is because we wanted them. Hopefully this shows you that when you're making decisions with your money, it's not all about the numbers. There are a lot of different inputs to any good financial decision. And if you do have any financial decision that's coming up that's about financial risk, watch this video that I made right over here. But YouTube thinks that you'll like this one better, and it can definitely help you out with your money. Thank you so much for watching. Stay smart.